Hello everybody, and welcome to the first retro Guam International Airport update. Have a very fun update to get into here today, covering a lot of history here for Guam Antonio B. Whampoa International Airport, which surprisingly does have a lot of history here, specifically with Continental and Continental Micronesia, of course, but also Northwest Airlines. Now, with Continental, you can see the remnants of their history today, with United being the main hub here, but Northwest had also a sizable operation in the Pacific Island region and, well, the Pacific in general, mainly out of Tokyo. But now, of course, Delta does not fly to Guam anymore. I don't believe they ever did after the Northwest merger. They pretty much gave up on this, but United took over, taking over from Continental when they merged. But back in the day, you would see Northwest fly here. They would have, well, I guess we'll begin right here with this Northwest Airlink Shorts 360. This one is operated by Pacific Islands Aviation. They used to do the Northern Mariana Islands feeder routes between Guam and the Northern Mariana Islands. And this is one of those routes. These did not park in the main terminal. These parked at a smaller commuter terminal, but that is not represented in my replica here. So this one just came in from Saipan. It'll be heading out there. That is I believe, the top destination in the Northern Mariana Islands. You still see plenty of service there, and it is one of the staples that this service used to fly. And they actually did fly the Shorts 360, which is perfect for this model that I got, which is a beautiful model right here. One of the ugliest aircraft, but that is why I love it so much. So, great model. I'm surprised I was able to use it here. I never thought I'd actually use this in an airport update, but well, here it is, and it is realistic in this case. So very interesting, right there. We will now move over here to our next Northwest aircraft. We only have 5 aircraft today, and also, by the way, this retro update does not cover like one specific year. It can really apply to any year in the kind of the early 2000s era at Guam. So next year we have Northwest Worldplane 747-400. This one came in from Honolulu, and it'll be heading out to Tokyo Narita. Northwest has a big history in the Pacific, mainly with their hub, and they had a proper hub at Tokyo Haneda, and then they moved over to Narita in their later years, and that is where this one will be heading out to. So they're interesting there. Of course, this is in the Worldplane livery, celebrating Northwest Asian connections. Tokyo, I think Tokyo's on the other side, but they are represented in with this aircraft, and it's perfect because I had this model and I can use it here. So very interesting here, of course, with Northwest storied history here, and I'm glad I can incorporate this aircraft in this airport update. Next, we move on to the other airline that has had a very long history here at Guam. That is Continental Airlines. So this is their 777-200 here. Not sure if this would have flown here to Guam. I know they flew the 727s back in the day, and also the 777s. I did less research in terms of Continental because, of course, I have the hometown connection to Northwest Airlines, so I definitely tried to research them, try to get as many Northwest aircraft in here, but here is Continental, and we'll use them here as well, as they also operated a lot of the regional, not really regional, but local, domestic. I just said that it wasn't domestic, but you get what I mean. The short haul routes out of Guam, like to Manila and they still flew to Tokyo, I believe, Yap and other islands that I've mentioned in previous airport updates. They flew the 727s and the DC-10s, but here we have the 777, which they probably would have used maybe in their later years. This one, we'll just say, came in from Honolulu, and I believe they used to fly to Houston IAH, George Bush. So this one will be heading out to there. I'm not sure if that's realistic or not, but if it's not realistic, then we'll just send it back to Honolulu, but you can insert your own route in there. I probably should have done more research on Continental, but if I do another retro Guam update, I'll be sure to do try to get some more airlines in here. But I mean, this is all that I really can put in here. I could have put in maybe the Continental 752, although it wouldn't really be realistic. Maybe they would have flown in some other Northwest aircraft in here, but I couldn't find anything other than the 747 and the Shorts 360. So maybe if they would have flown in the DC-10, I would have put in my Northwest KLM DC-10 in here. But this is what we have for now, and if I do one of these in the future, hopefully we can get some more aircraft in here. But we still have 2 more in the cargo area, so now we'll make the long trek over to the cargo area, which is all the way in the back here. We have our 2 cargo aircraft. So Asia Pacific Airlines here, we still see them in the Guam updates today. That is the only aircraft that still applies to today's updates, although this is their older livery, and they used to fly the 727s here as well, just like Continental. But this is their older livery, so I figured might as well just throw them in here. Although this one might be more of a later time frame than the other aircraft in this airport update. This one you could probably say is a later 2000s, and the other ones would be like 2004, 2005, that time frame. This Asia Pacific Airlines 757-200 came in from Hong Kong, and it'll be heading out to Honolulu. That route still exists today, and I assume that they probably would have done something similar back in the day, but I am just making that one up. And finally here we have the Northwest. We're going to actually get close to this one. This one is very interesting, and I don't know when I'm going to be able to use this aircraft again in an update, at least in a realistic connotation, so it is realistic in this case. As you can see on the aircraft there, it says it flew to Guam, so this is realistic according to me. So here is the Northwest Cargo 747-200 in the Investing in Pacific Time livery. Northwest Cargo became a subsidiary, an independent subsidiary of Northwest Airlines back in 2001, and yeah, and they flew to Guam. So that's all that really matters here. So this aircraft came in from Anchorage, and you'll be heading out to Osaka, Japan. Yeah, so Northwest Cargo, you can pretty much just see their destinations on the aircraft right there. On the other side, it also says some other ones that they flew to in the U.S., which I don't have them all memorized, but another was Anchorage, Detroit, I believe New York as well, and probably some other ones as well. Maybe Seattle. I think Seattle was another one. But yeah, that is interesting, kind of a niche model here, but it did, this aircraft did fly to Guam, and yeah, so another link in the Northwest history at this airport. So that'll do it for this retro Guam update. I know this was a little bit unprofessional, maybe. I wouldn't say this is my best work ever, but I did really want to do a retro Guam update because I did have these models that applied here, but there's a lot of research to go into it for doing a retro Guam airport update. Definitely more than like Kalamazoo or Madison or those other airports that I've done ones for in the past, because it has been a lot that has gone on here, and a lot that is very difficult to find on the internet, because like I was only able to find 2 aircraft that Northwest flew here, 2 aircraft that Continental flew here, and like on departedflights.com you can only find information for this airport like back in the 80s, and that doesn't really apply very well. I did still use that information, like I based that some of my Northwest flights off of that, like the Tokyo and Narita thing, but it's kind of, it was difficult to find information on Guam, especially for other airlines that were not seen in this airport update. Other Asian airlines, like I'm assuming JAL flew here, and well, I know for a fact that JAL flew here, maybe Philippine Airlines and other ones like that, but it was really difficult to find information on that. So this is what we have for the time being, but I will definitely try to improve on this airport if I do it again. But hopefully you still enjoyed this airport update. Definitely a lot of interesting history here at Guam. And but yeah, that'll do it for this airport update, this retro Guam update for the around 2003, 2004 time frame, somewhere in the early 2000s, except for the Asia Pacific Airlines, but that doesn't count. So that'll do it for this update. I will see you tomorrow, and as always, good night. Auf Wiedersehen.